Hey guys, Barry here, and welcome to the Nintendo Impact Gaming podcast show, and this is episode 22. And now I have some very special guests all the way from England, I guess my neighbours, if you want to call them but we have Utopian Sandwiches. Hello guys, how are you?
Hi,
Hello.
we're good, thanks.
We're very good, thank you.
The full name is actually Utopian World of Sandwiches, but Utopian Sandwiches, I guess, it's shorter, nice and sweet.
Yeah. It definitely needs shortening.
Otherwise, it means that when you tweet us, it takes up the entire tweet just to name us.
Exactly, yeah. Like your username is Utopian Sandwiches, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Utopian sandwich, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, what's the crack, in Irish?
Well, we're just, we're launching Chompy Chomp Chomp Party on Wii U. It's been a sort of couple of years in the making, sequel to Chompy Chomp Chomp. And it's just like really exciting. It's happening. It's finally happening. We're going to be live on Thursday, and I just can't wait, really.
Yeah. So this Thursday it's actually tomorrow for the listeners. It's 2 days for us. So yeah, we're talking from the future, whatever you want to say. But
Yeah.
no, like I did actually get Chompy Chomp Chomp on PC on Steam there, just to support you guys. Like if I'm gonna have the games and the series, I may as well get them all, kind of thing. That's just me.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Thanks.
So tell us, how did the company come together? How did the game come together? And the name as well. It's Chomptastic, I must say.
Well, so we are husband and wife team. So we got together probably. Well, it was 15 years ago we got together, didn't we?
Yep.
And
Congratulations.
For 10 years we dreamt of making a games company, and about 5 years ago we met our friend Adam, who helped us to make the original Chompy Chomp Chomp. And that's how we created the company Utopian World of Sandwiches. And I think we just made the game in a weekend originally, just a prototype of it. We kind of all sat down together and game jammed it out, and
we had no idea what we were making. We just sort of started out with this idea that we wanted to make a game where you played a character that would chase one character but would be chased by somebody else.
Yeah,
like this weird kind of game of like mouse and cat and dog.
So we had that idea because we'd tried to make games for a long time, but they were always like way too big for our like little capabilities. The fact that there's only a few of us and not an entire like a giant company or anything.
Yeah.
So we were talking about what could we actually achieve and how could we make a game that was achievable and actually be motivated to still work on it and really care about it and love it. And so that got us talking about the kind of games that we grew up with and what things we loved as kids. And mainly it was multiplayer games that we could play with our friends in the same room. So we started thinking of game ideas for local multiplayer stuff. And we were kind of inspired by Bomberman and things like that. And I remember saying to Woody, has there ever been a multiplayer Pac-Man? And we couldn't think. There is actually a multiplayer Pac-Man, but not in the sense that I was talking about.
Yeah, I think that there is one now as well. But I think at the time there was that one on the GameCube. I don't know if you remember. It was called Pac-Man Versus. But to play that, you needed a GameCube and you needed 3 Game Boy Advances all plugged in together. So like one of you would play on. It was like really good, but you sort of think, I don't know how many people have the required hardware to actually sort of play that. It was really fun. We wanted something that was kind of fun like that, but everybody could play, really. So that's where the initial idea came from. At the time, the Xbox was
really
the console to be on.
And we wanted it to be that you could play with like a 3 or 4 year old kid, and they still have a chance of playing. So we kind of had this dream of it being this accessible, fun
something
game.
That's really simple just to pick up, but is still like a game that rewards you for being skillful and good.
Yeah, of course.
No sort of limits to like the sort of your experience as a gamer, really. So any person of any age can just pick it up and join in. And it's a party game, so you want everybody in the room to be able to just jump straight into it and play it straight away. So that was.
That's how. And when we came up with the idea, we made the game. We had these funny little creatures, which we designed based on the actual gameplay.
It was all just off the cuff. I mean, because it was a game jam, we just came into it with this idea. Like, all we had was the gameplay idea, and everything just happened like really fluidly.
Yeah.
So you start running around and kind of eating each other, and then you have to design. So Sarah designed the characters around that. And we sort of thought,
so they've got no
purpose?
arms because they don't have any. They don't have a need for any arms, and they've got a giant mouth because that's the main thing they do. They just chomp. So that's kind of how
they've got legs because you
happen.
run, and you've got your horns just so you can see what direction you're facing in. Really,
yeah,
so you've got a nice silhouette.
So
and that's it. It's absolutely
It's very simple.
Designed by requirement.
And so the focus became the chomping, and then that's kind of how the name came about. Woody went, "What should we call it?" And I went, "I don't know, like Chompy, Chomp, Chomp." And he went,
I was like, "Done.
Done.
That is the best name for a game I've ever heard." So that's that.
So we just went with that, and then around the same time, it's all kind of crazy Sarah-isms, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, names and the actual design of stuff, like how things look, is generally your bag.
Yeah.
Because I know you come up with like that weird stuff, so I don't even try. I'll ask, and you'll come up with something, and I'll love it. So.
Yeah. So Utopian World of Sandwiches came about around the same time when we were trying to come up with a company name. We'd had a list of like thousands of names. Like, or where you just get a word and you put it together with another word, like, I don't know, fat shrew or something.
Yeah. Rocket.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Just weird things like that you just pick out of the dictionary, or just like random stuff.
Yeah.
But then you don't have any attachment to them. It's like, it has no meaning. I don't care about it. Nothing's sticking.
Around that time, it's quite a long story actually, but we'd gone to Australia, and sort of spent like all our money going to Australia, even though we'd just moved house and we had like no money.
Yeah, timing didn't work out.
We really messed that up, and it was around the time of the Japanese tsunami, and so
good timing.
Yeah.
We were due to go to Japan.
We were supposed to go to Japan, but like literally 2 days before our flight went out, that happened. So we had to cancel.
We had to cancel Japan, so we
extended our stay in Australia.
Yeah, and we booked some stuff sort of further up the east coast of Australia, and we started making our way up the east coast, and as we got halfway up, it massively flooded, and we actually couldn't get any further north, and they were recommending us to just go back to Sydney, otherwise we might not be able to get home. So we kind of lost half our holiday, and then it turned from being like a kind of pre-honeymoon kind of nice holiday thing that we saved up for a while for, to being like a proper backpacking holiday, adventure kind of thing. And it did work out to be really fun, if slightly traumatizing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely traumatizing to start with. We kind of saved it after we got over the fact that we just lost loads of money.
But we ended up in Brisbane after to get out of the floods. We had to take an 18-hour bus journey, straight 18 hours.
Wow.
I've never been on a bus for that long in my life. And
it makes the UK seem so small.
So the UK is so tiny. That was the nearest city we could get to. Is 18 hours bus journey.
Fuck that, sorry, but fuck that.
I'm never going to moan about like a 30-minute bus journey ever again.
Everything
like that
in the UK is so near now. And we were like, well, we got there and we ended up, because we didn't know where to stay, we ended up in this really horrible hostel, and we just found out we'd lost loads of money, and so we were pretty miserable, and we walked into this sandwich shop after having not really had a proper meal for ages. And it was an amazing sandwich shop. It had like floor-to-ceiling sandwich fillings and like...
I'd never seen anything like it. You just kind of walk in and they have everything that you need to make a sandwich.
Not just a sandwich, the most amazing sandwich you've ever imagined.
And you just make it yourself. You just go around and you pick what bread you want. You pick like whatever fillings you can possibly fit in between two slices of bread.
So we got to the end of the counter and we paid for our sandwiches, and the lady at the end was like, oh, so how are you enjoying your trip? And I was a bit like, oh god, it's a disaster. And I don't think she was quite expecting my reaction. And she was like, oh, I'm really sorry, everything's gone wrong for you. And she came and sat with us while we ate our sandwiches, and she basically saved our holiday. She took some time over helping us to kind of figure out what to do next. And we'd been to travel agents, and they'd been much less helpful than the sandwich shop lady. And weirdly, when we got back from Australia, we then watched a movie about people who worked in a sandwich shop. And it started to become really weird.
Sandwiches became this weird thing with us.
Yeah.
It just seemed to like symbolize this perfect, happy way of life without kind of any of your usual stresses.
Yeah, because in the movie, it's just like there's a bunch of people and they're a family and they work together and they just make sandwiches, and they make kind of really nice bespoke sandwiches for the people that they like, their customers, and they kind of care for their customers a lot and stuff. And when we talked about it, we talked about how kind of big games companies seem a bit more like a Michelin star restaurant, where they're kind of like you become a silo, like you're the guy who chops the carrots or something, and that's the only thing you do, and you don't really get to make the whole meal or be a part of the whole meal, and you also don't really get sort of direct contact with your customers because it just kind of goes out the door. And
at
so
the time I was working for like a larger company, and it did feel like that. And that's I wanted this to be like, when we set up our company, for that to be more of a thing where we'd have like more of this impact on the whole of the games. It'd be a bit more like this little sandwich shop where we'd get to see what our players wanted and make games that they would love, and we'd kind of have a part of all of it.
Yeah, and it would be more like making a sandwich, like modular type games than kind of long, epic, plot-based things. We'd just make things where there's lots of options where people can switch them on and off if they don't like something and things like that. So they can make it more bespoke to them. Like you have your favourite sandwich, you might have your favourite mode of chompy chomp chomp. And so that kind of became a metaphor for us about how we wanted the future of our company to be. And then...
So we didn't name it yet, but we kept referring to this
Utopian world of sandwiches.
The Utopian world of sandwiches.
Yeah.
So we both still worked in other jobs, and we hadn't left to start this business. So it was kind of like a code word when we'd walk around, like we'd meet up on a lunch break and talk about secret project, and we'd always refer to it as the Utopian world of sandwiches. But
it didn't occur to us to name the company after it.
No, because that's mental. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so
long.
But yeah, we did kind of decide that. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
No, I'm just fascinated by it. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever probably heard on my podcast. Sandwiches.
Yeah, sandwiches is a metaphor for
Not
games.
in a bad way, but
yeah.
there was a bit of fuzz that just went
away.
But yeah.
Yeah, so the sandwiches is a metaphor for games. It was crazy, but that's us, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we tried to pick other names, but I think in the end, Sarah just went, well, should we just call it the Utopian world of sandwiches? Is that a thing that we can do? And we're like, well, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Who's going to stop us?
I mean, the other thing
I will.
Yeah. The other thing is you end up with you might end up with just, I don't know, a weird word that you've made up, or, something that doesn't really mean anything. And that meant so much to us. And I know it seems kind of crazy to other people, but to us it really holds, it kind of holds all of our values and our purpose and everything.
Yeah, it's a really sort of personal name.
Yeah.
That we can never go away from, really. So we're always going to have to think about why we started out and what we set out to do whenever we make a game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're lying to ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, I think the podcast is over. Only messing. Well, congratulations on your marriage and your honeymoon and your game anyway. So James, what kind of games did you grow up playing anyway?
Well, it was all. I mean, I played everything through sort of the 8-bit, 16-bit era. I mean, my favourites were sort of, like I said, multiplayer games like Bomberman, Mario Kart, Street Fighter.
Sensible World of Soccer, which is
Sensible
favourite.
Soccer is, yeah. I mean, that's a game that I still play to this day. To be honest, I've always got an Amiga just set up underneath the TV, just for a quick game of Sensi whenever I can squeeze one in. but yeah, it's a lot of kind of. So I've got to take a lot of reference from sort of retro games with how I sort of design games now. I'm going to always play them and always look into them, just because there's sort of a beauty in the simplicity of them. They tend to have like a really quickly accessible idea, and there's always like an original sort of hook. And I feel like that can be a little bit lost in larger, bigger games. So we try to focus on like a smaller idea and take it from there.
Yeah. Sarah, can I ask, what about you? Like, I'm not being sexist because, like, because the gaming kind of industry, it's sort of like male dominated, but like there's more females coming into the industry, I think, like on both productive side and gamers, itself. So what games did you play when you were growing up?
Oh, I played all sorts. So I was actually one of the first families that we knew who had a computer. So we had a BBC Micro from when I was about 3 years old. So I used to play games on that. But mainly what I used to really enjoy playing was all the LucasArts games like Monkey Island and Indiana Jones and Sam and Max and things like that. I was obsessed with those sorts of things. Lots of things with quirky characters and weird humour.
Yeah, cool illustrations.
Yeah, cool illustrations.
Did you ever play Zombies Ate My Neighbors?
I did, yeah, but only recently.
Actually, it was quite recently. Yeah, I played that when it came out, but that was a co-op game that I was like, oh, we have to play this together.
We played it
because we do try and find co-op games to play together.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. In fact, we made a little web game a little while, sort of after we finished Chompy Chomp Chomp. We wanted to do something a little bit different and smaller, called Eradicator. And I think we played it around that time because we wanted to go for this sort of B-movie style. And I remember looking at the title screen for it. And
we did
go in for that sort of same
pixel
art style and stuff. Yeah, so we love Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yeah.
Great game. Don't ever play the sequel. It's terrible. Ghoul Patrol.
Oh, I don't think I ever have. Okay, I'll see.
It's actually on my channel, but like I'm not saying this to advertise my channel, but I mean, the game is broken. Like it is, it's like I think the game mechanics are just horrible. It's like how fluid that game is. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's so much different. Ghoul Patrol is. It's just a mess.
I'll watch it on your channel and I'll save myself the pain of playing it.
Like I actually planned to record some different kind of levels after I got so far, just like in Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's the exact same, but it's like I just had to stop playing it. It was just that bad.
That painful.
Yeah. Like Zombies Ate My Neighbors, it's just a great game because I want to do like a multiplayer series on my channel as well with my friend. But like that game is just so much fun.
Yeah, we try and find co-op games as well, don't we? And we really want to kind of focus on local multiplayer.
Local co-op and local multiplayer is it's just something that we sometimes think, oh, let's design a single player game, but every kind of game design we sort of think up, we always go, oh, but wouldn't this be really cool, like with the co-op mode or multiplayer? So I don't think we're going to get away from that. It's just something we just seem to gravitate towards.
It's something that really matters to us as well. We really believe that like games bring people together.
They really do.
Yeah, and it's something that if nobody makes games for people to play together, then that's something that's really going to be sad and will be really missed. And
yeah, I would miss that. I mean, it's one of the things that around about when we made the first Chompy Chomp Chomp, I really felt like there was a bit of a lack of kind of local multiplayer games at the time.
Because we'd played all through uni, we had a GameCube.
Oh, that was such a fantastic console for sort of local multiplayer. I mean,
all we did was play multiplayer games on our GameCube.
So that was a generation before online, and
yeah,
online multiplayer is amazing, but it seemed like with the sort of with the Xbox 360 and PS3 sort of generation, there was online was favoured instead of local, so it didn't seem like there was quite the range that you used to have. So we wanted to try and address that. That was what we set out to do.
Yeah, because you can't do the same sorts of things when you're playing online as you can when you're playing in the same room. You can't bond in the same way.
Insults only go so far, and physical violence is so much more satisfying. Yeah.
So, I mean, like some of our best times at uni were spent like sort of playing like Bomberman till 5 a.m. and
and doing weird things like we'd play Mario Kart Double Dash, where you used to buddy up with another player, and we'd have a sofa, and the people in the front of the cart would sit on the floor, and then the people in the back would sit on the sofa, and every time you switched, we had to physically switch.
Yeah, physically and tangle up the controllers, because that was before wireless controllers.
We didn't have Wavebirds back then.
Yeah, so yeah, it was really good fun. You can't do that kind of thing when you're sat in a different room with like headphones on and stuff. You know, it's not the same.
See, I think Nintendo was trying to keep that going, I guess, because, you know, like, Nintendo are well, I think anyway, the least favorites for multiplayer online, because they want to kind of keep, like, the local player going.
Yeah.
Like, me talking to you earlier on about Shadow Puppeteer for Wii U, great game. It's, like, that came to Wii U, you know, and it's a local multiplayer game. And, like, because they want to kind of bring back that kind of, you know, Nintendo kind of feel of local multiplayer on the couch, you know, in your sitting room.
Yeah.
And like what you guys are doing as well, which is pretty great. Like 9 people. Holy shit, is that amazing?
Yeah, I mean, weirdly, Rumbo did it around the time when we'd already started to do it, hadn't they? We were like, oh wow, they've done the same thing as us. That's
they've
cool.
done it in exactly the same way, sharing the controllers and the same.
But yeah,
I'm not going to argue about who had the idea first.
No. Clearly did, because they developed it, but
they got it out there.
Yeah, they got it out.
I mean, it's independently. I mean, we'd already been.
But we
developing
didn't know it existed when we came.
But
up
when
with
we
the
saw
idea.
it, it was like that's awesome. I mean, for a console to have 2 games on it, you can play 9 players. I mean, well, it only helps us.
Well, like we really wanted to max out the multiplayerness of it, because one of the games that we used to play at uni was Saturn Bomberman, which was we used to play up to 10 players. So we used to have like massive parties with like 30 people all switching out on Bomberman and stuff.
Yeah, and that's we played that for hours and hours and hours, and
I just wanted to make a game like that. Yeah, that did that. That was a real party game.
Yeah. Can I ask, is Chompy Chomp Chomp Party, is that going to be a Wii U exclusive, or is it going to be on other systems? Is that classified at the moment?
we don't know yet. Really.
It's certainly going to be a Wii U exclusive for the time being.
Yeah.
And
I have to ask the hard questions. I'm sorry.
That's right. We probably will at some point in the future, but it's not going to be anytime too soon.
Yeah, we will port it to other things, but we'll probably need to change a fair few things in order to do that, because
platforms are not going to support the 9-player thing.
No.
And, so there's a lot to consider, and we'll have to read it for different platforms and maybe find a new.
We may even have to add online play for some.
For some platforms we might.
Which is hard. We did it for the Xbox version.
I was just about to ask with the Xbox version, but come on.
Yeah, it took us like longer than it took us to build the original game in the first place, to just get online in and
to get it working well. I mean,
tested.
that was the thing. It's like to really make online
work
well. It's a lot of work. I think a lot of developers maybe underestimate it.
Well, we did. We massively underestimated it, and
we didn't expect it.
So does Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, like we were like, I think there's only really Woody is the only one who works on this like full time. I have a full-time job to support him to do this, and come home and help him out when I'm home.
See what I've been doing.
So that is the amount of people who've worked on this game, and to add online, I think you need like a lot of people to test it and make it work, to do it really well.
Yeah, I mean, there is only so much one person can do.
Yeah.
We wanted to.
I mean, it was hard.
We decided to focus on the local aspect for the Wii U game and make that really good. And just, I didn't want to stretch anything too far and be left with something that we weren't really happy with in certain other areas.
And it's it's hard enough doing the 9 players with one person who's testing it and building it. And
I mean, I found new abilities, like to be able to control various controllers
using
with my feet and all sorts of nose. Just to try things out.
Sorts of things.
Would you ever bring the game to maybe 3DS? Because like people do like play together, I guess locally with the 3DS,
I would love to do something on the 3DS. I mean, I don't know. I don't see it happening in our near future, but.
No, I mean, it's certainly something I would definitely love to do. I would love to make a 3DS game, but I think in terms of I don't know what the plans are with the 3DS. I don't
Yeah.
know how long it's got in terms of life left. If they're going to carry on developing 3DS, and kind of, because with the new 3DS they made it a bit more powerful. If
bearing
they're
in
going to
mind-
keep doing that, then yeah, we might be on the
Yeah.
3DS. But in terms of the short term, we're not gonna.
It took us 2 years to develop this game, so
Yeah.
you know, make a
To
3DS
kind of-
game.
It would need cutting down in
Yeah,
certain respects,
and
a lot more
a lot of
optimization. So
work.
it would be harder to make for us. But yeah, by God, I'd want to do it.
Oh, you would love to.
See, I mentioned 3DS because the new 3DS supports Unity, which you have used for your game, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
What was it like developing on a Unity platform, and then releasing it for the Wii U, like compared to PC and then for Xbox as well?
Well, it's interesting. This is like the first kind of major title that we'd actually used Unity for, because on the Xbox and PC versions, like the prequel, we were using XNA. So this whole, like the Wii U version is a total rewrite. I mean, everything is 3D, whereas on the Xbox and PC, it's all actually just pre-rendered 2D sort of graphics. But I mean, Unity is so good that it cuts out a lot of the real kind of like core engine work, so you don't have to write a 3D render and all that sort of stuff. So I can focus on making the artwork look really good and focus on actually like programming the gameplay rather than the engine itself. I know a lot of people like writing engines, but to be honest, that's not something I enjoy. I'd rather focus on making a good game.
Yeah.
In terms of like Unity on the Wii U, it was a really good experience. It's hard to imagine doing it without.
And I think because it's in Unity now, we've got so much capacity to be able to update it and change it and add more levels and things. It kind of got to the point with the XNA version that we couldn't actually add much more.
It was difficult to expand on it, and because it was 2D, we actually ended up using a lot more memory than we first thought. So we're sort of maxing out the memory limits on the Xbox, like really. I think that was only 512 meg of RAM at the time. So it's a bit techie, but yeah, like we couldn't really fit any more into the game. So moving it all into like a 3D engine meant that we've just got a lot more space to actually put more things in, and it's just a lot more expandable. I mean, we don't really want this to be. I mean, this isn't the last bit of Chompy Chomp Chomp. We want to add more levels. We want to add more game modes to it. So we've sort of designed it in a way where that's relatively easy to do. We can keep developing it.
So are you talking about DLC? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll just make it free. It would just be.
Yeah, I don't know. We're just.
The update. We're not gonna.
This is all for free.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it
nice.
It might get to the point where we maybe have to up the original price point of the game, but the early adopters will have got it for cheaper.
Yeah, because they're paying for less content. So I don't think we as a company would like to charge for DLC. And I kind of want everyone to be on the same. Like, you bought Chompy Chomp Chomp, this is what you get.
Yeah, everybody gets the same.
Yeah, I like that because like games, I guess companies like EA especially and Ubisoft, you buy this game. And the likes of, like, their Hitman, the new Hitman game, for talk's sake, you're buying episode 1, and they want you to pay for everything else.
Yeah.
And like you're buying other games, and then the game isn't even complete when it's first released.
Yeah, but, I'm not a fan of that for like a full price game. I feel a bit.
You feel cheap,
that first bit of DLC that comes along, I have a little bit of resentment. I'm like, oh, hang on, you charge a fair bit of money for this, and it's like sort of day one DLC is always a bit upsetting.
Yeah. We're not in this to make huge amounts of money.
No, I mean, we're in it to sell games, but we're not in it to get rich.
Yeah.
We just want to make something fun that people play.
We just want to be able to continue to make games.
Yeah.
That's about it. But even if we can't make that happen from sort of selling loads of games, and we'll still find another way to
carry on making them.
It'll be fine. So we're not going to be all like money grabby and it is just like I said, it's quite cheap relatively compared to a big company because it is just Woody on his own most of the time. So yeah, that's not a costly thing really, is it?
Not really. We just need to make enough to make the next game.
Yeah.
That's all I want to
do. So Woody, can I ask, do you still talk to Andy lately? Or?
I've not seen him for a while, no. I mean, I think he's last thing I remember, I was dropped, and I just, the name is rubbing off on my shoe. I'm just.
How's Bo Peep?
We did it. That was one of the tattoos that you were considering
It
getting.
was actually. I was considering getting Andy tattooed on the sole of my foot.
No, you said it was going to be Sarah.
All right,
rub it off or paint over it. Okay, I know this is off topic, but did you go see Batman versus Superman yet?
No,
not yet.
Is it good? Have you been?
I've been to it, yes. I went to the first day, the second show. It was in 3D. No, because I like 3D. You see, the thing is, there's two cinemas here now where I live in Ireland.
Yeah.
And one of them is, well, I'm not going to say it, publicly, I guess, just in case, I don't know, just to be on the safe side. But one of them is cheaper in 3D than the other one is in 2D.
Yeah.
Which is pretty weird, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I'd rather watch it in 2D.
Really?
Yeah, I wonder if that's why now, because there's like a special elite group of people who want to watch it in 2D.
See, the thing is, though, I don't know, 3D isn't for everyone. But anyway, but to go back on track with Batman, it's, like, I'm not going to spoil it on you, no spoilers here for everyone listening. I liked it, but, it's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. But, like, there was so much mixed reviews on it. And, like, the first hour is very, very long. It's, like, there's not much happens at all. And I don't know if they felt like they had to do it, but they put in, like, Batman's origin story when he was younger of his parents getting shot. And then fast forward years later until the whole situation with Superman, with in the city, which happened in the previous movie.
Yeah.
And then it continues on from there. But yeah, there's no after scene credits, unfortunately, but
nothing at the end.
No, nothing. I did read up. I wanted to check just in case, in case people, were lying. But no, I'm not gonna lie to you. Nothing happens after, and no, Ben Affleck was really good as Batman. I liked him because he was like the comic book was and the cartoon, from what I can see.
Yeah, I like the look of him. Obviously, I haven't seen it yet, but at first, when it was first announced, I was a bit like, wow, that's a bit of a weird choice. But looking at him, it's like, oh, he looks like a good Batman.
Like Batman. Yeah, he looks like how you imagine Batman's look.
So I've been wishing for this to be good, but yeah, as you say, that the reviews have been mixed at best. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I want to see it. I will.
But see, the actors are great actors in it, no doubt about it. But it's just maybe how the director wanted to go with it. I really don't know. It's like they are getting ready for Justice League, which I'm pretty happy about. But there's I don't know if you've seen images online, but I don't think it's a spoiler, but there's 5 seconds of Aquaman, and then there's the Flash as well. No pun intended, but that was so quick. I missed it. I don't know what happened there. But they didn't show that much of it.
Well, we haven't really caught up with all of the Netflix things either, have we? There's a flashes on.
Yeah, we've not really been doing the DC stuff at the moment. I've sort of been on hold. We
did do the Marvel stuff, but we haven't really done the DC stuff.
Did you go see what do you call him? This is gonna bloody the red guy. Marvel is just on there recently.
Daredevil on Netflix.
No, not Daredevil. No.
The movie.
This is going to kill me now.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
No, that was pretty good though.
What other red guy is there?
I can't think of a red guy.
Deadpool.
Deadpool, thank you.
No, I haven't seen that yet. That's another one.
Oh, that is easily the funniest comic book movie I've ever seen. It's even the intro credits is just brilliant. Everything about it is fantastic.
Oh, that should, yeah.
And even Ryan Reynolds takes the piss out of bloody Green Lantern and the whole CGI and make sure I'm not wearing green kind of thing. It's absolutely hilarious.
Excellent. That's really good.
I like that.
Yeah, we've been a bit because we've been finishing this game. We've kind of not been to see any films or anything for a long time. Well, I say a long time, for the last sort of few months, as we sort of get this ready for release. So yeah, now we can get back on the cinema and actually watch some stuff. That'll be a reward.
We will take your recommendation.
Go see for yourself. Don't, that's just my opinion. I do like it, but it's not perfect. But yourself, it's up to you really what you want to do with it.
I think we're really massive fans of kind of awful movies. We call them It's like when it's like so bad it's good.
Yeah.
And we love that kind of thing. So we're a bit weird when it comes to movies. Like what some people will go is terrible, we'll think is amazing.
We'll think it's like absolutely
We'll think it's
amazing.
like the best thing we've ever seen.
Yeah, like you know, just horrendous kind of old or new B movies. That's like.
Like, have you ever heard of The Room?
Yes, I have. I don't think I've seen it yet. Is that the one with this is the boy or girl and the stuff on the wall?
There's like, it's made by a guy called Tommy Wiseau, who wrote, directed, and starred in it. And he's a really bizarre guy.
It came out in like 2001.
Yeah.
It's quite
I
old.
can't really explain anything about it to you.
Nothing happens. It's just
nothing,
weird.
And it's just the work, like, it's just everything that happens is weird and awful as a movie. Like,
Tommy Wiseau is the weirdest guy. He's got such an odd accent.
Yeah.
It sounds
He looks
like
weird
he's not
too. I
American.
can see it right now.
Yeah.
He's got like always wears glasses, like shades when he doesn't need to. And his acting, I mean,
all the acting
so
in
bad.
it's terrible.
So bad.
All the script is terrible, but it basically all together is just this perfect storm of amazingness.
Like it's so bad, you just have to watch it.
It's so hilarious, and you kind of if
you
you
find
watch
yourself
it with a group
just
of people,
reeling in this kind of
is this real? Did
This
they
has been
actually
made.
release
Someone,
this?
I mean, this has cost a lot of money, and
Yeah.
yet, like this guy just funded it. But
So yeah, we actually went to see that live at this not live, but we went to see it at the cinema where he was there, and he was like taking questions from the audience and stuff, and one of his like other main stars was there and everything, and yeah, it was really funny because they do this thing where because it's a cult movie now, so for some reason he thought it'd be a really good idea to put photos in the background of all his favourite cutlery or something. So
All right.
yeah, so whenever one of these pictures turns up on the cinema screen, everybody in the audience throws plastic spoons and forks at the screen and shouts spoons or forks. And
it's a cracking experience. It's a cinema
amazing.
experience. There's nothing else quite like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than 3D when you've got actual spoons flying.
Yeah, there's actual plastic spoons
it's
and forks
4D.
flying above your head. Yeah.
Sounds a bit like pantomime, but no response back.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's quite like pantomime.
It's weird. No, because I was in the pantomime there in January. I done Beauty and the Beast.
Did you?
Yeah. Locally here, like, you know, but...
were you Beauty?
No, I was... well, I am beautiful, but I'm only messing. No, but they had me as... he wasn't called Gaston, but he was called... no, like, I think like they couldn't call him Gaston because of maybe copyright.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, he was called Jean-Claude, but his full name is actually a piss take on Jean-Claude Van Damme, he's called. Not Van Damme. But like he's this real kind of creepy guy. But like I was just told, you know, I'll just play yourself, it'll be fine. But I don't know.
That's great.
Tell us about the gamepad usage. I know, like there are people in my video, you can't see it, but the TV is mirrored exactly how it is on the gamepad, which is pretty damn cool, I think, considering you've 9 players there.
Mm.
But what's it like, you know, that process of, you know, copying everything over? Well, you know, not copying, you know, but mirroring everything onto the gamepad, and like even with audio, because I know people, like another game company has had issues, you know, like transferring audio over to the gamepad as well. If that makes sense. Streaming.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it can. I mean, the thing is with that, you do have to make sure, obviously, everything is. You don't get to just mirror everything. You don't get to say, oh, whatever's happening on there, on the screen, TV screen, just happen on the gamepad. You do have to make sure you go in and make sure your audio is played on the gamepad. It's a little bit easier with the visuals because within Unity you can just set up a second camera and it can just be, you know, displaying the same as what's on the TV screen. But audio and stuff is just a little bit different. And like that was one of the last sort of things that we sort of did in the build, actually, was make sure all of the audio was being played through, and just catching every single time that a bit of audio was played was definitely also playing on the gamepad itself.
Yeah, we had a few things like that we had to change, didn't we, about how things loaded and stuff, so that things worked on the gamepad in the right way.
Yeah.
But other than that, it wasn't it was one of the things that we gave a lot of thought to was, could we use the gamepad in a gameplay kind of way? And we may still do that in the future if we can think of a really good game mode for it. But we actually ended up deciding that we love the off-TV play so much. The fact that you can go off and play it on the gamepad.
Yeah, we didn't want to limit any modes to basically not being able to be played off TV. Because I think we want this game to be played by sort of everybody of all sort of ages. And I think off TV is just such a great
brilliant for kids.
Feature of like the gamepad. So yeah, if you've got like younger kids and you want to watch something on TV, you know, I want them to be able to go and play it on the gamepad with other controllers, and that'll be fine. So we didn't want to then make it so that maybe a game mode that we designed specifically around gamepad usage then couldn't be played because you didn't have a TV screen to play on. But yeah, as I said, we might in the future if we suddenly have an idea that it's like, oh, that would be amazing use of the gamepad and TV screen. But I think it's certainly difficult to design for that because you lose a certain symmetry of play and you sort of tip the balance. And we tried a few modes that we thought were going to work out really well, that were kind of asymmetric gamepad play and TV play, but they just, in the end, weren't quite as fun as we first thought.
Yeah,
all of the
kind of
symmetrical
about
gameplay
equality,
worked better.
isn't it? Everything that we do is about having an equal chance to do something, and you not giving one person more of an advantage to do that than the other. So it kind of threw everything off balance and actually kind of screwed with our game design philosophy a little bit. Yeah.
So in the end, we just thought we won't let that mess up our game design philosophy. We'll focus on the symmetrical gameplay ideas.
Okay, there's two things I want to talk to you about now, and one of them leads into the other now. And the first thing I want to talk about: where the hell did you get the bloody board game? Like, how did that happen?
Oh, the board game.
I want one. Give me it.
we want to make it so that
we would love to make that.
They're available.
Yeah. So our best man, our wedding, made it for us as a wedding present, and he just turned up with, he like lovingly hand painted some 3D chompies and made this lovely board, and then just kind of handed it over to us and went, happy wedding. I don't have any rules for it, but here's a board game. I think it would make an awesome board game. And after the wedding, we kind of, every time we saw him, sat with him and kind of hammered out what the gameplay rules would be for the board game. And to be honest, it's really cool. Like, it's a really good board game. It's so different
unlike
to
any
other
board
game.
And
yeah. It's really quite similar to the computer game, actually. Because like, we started out thinking, oh, it's a board game. It kind of has to be different to the computer game, as, you know.
So we started out trying it where one player would move, they'd move around the board, then another player would take their turn and move around the board. But it never felt like Chompy Chomp Chomp. It always felt like, like a cheap board game version of Chompy Chomp Chomp. It didn't have the essence of it. So
we ended up making it so that each player moves one move out of a number of moves that they've pre-designated by rolling a dice under a cup. So one person moves their move number one, another person moves their move number one, and then you actually do end up doing that kind of chasing round thing where you go up a corridor and somebody's coming at you and you suddenly just
you have to rethink your tactics sort of mid-turn because suddenly somebody's taken that route that you'd sort of planned already.
Yeah.
Which perfectly captured what Chompy Chomp Chomp was all about. So that's
we
kind of how
haven't got all the power-ups to work in the board game. Like, we've got a dice so you can teleport to a random coordinate, and we've got a bubble that you can put over the top of a Chompy.
The board game was what invented the Mega Moogie sandwich.
Yeah, it was.
That's where we
or your BLT.
It was. So it's great because we can try all sorts of things out on the board game now without having to code a thing.
Yeah, we just throw a power up there, see if it works. And we've got a rough idea of whether that'll work in the video game as well. So it's a good place for experimenting.
Yeah.
But we do want to release it. I mean, it's something that we might do.
Following the launch.
following the Wii U launch, we might see if we can maybe kickstart the board game, because, like as I said, the rule set is finished. Really, we need to kind of finance the production of it and shipping of it. So it's something that Kickstarter would be really good for that, where we can actually it acts like more like a pre-order system, really.
Yeah.
And we can have different tiers of board game, so we can go right up to a deluxe hand-painted by our best man version, and slightly lower sort of mass-produced
He loves that kind of thing. He really puts a lot of effort in. Like the teeth have got shading on, even their little bum cheeks have got shading.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, keep that thought now. This brings me on to the next part of the two-question bit here. When are we getting Chomibo?
Chomibo.
How about like if you sold like different colored Chomibo, like red ones there, or blue or something, or orange, and then put them on your board game for a physical edition? That'd be cool.
That would be the absolute ultimate dream.
That is like my ultimate dream.
I would love Chomibos.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'll be getting exclusives before anyone else. Yeah.
Definitely.
So you need to email Nintendo, show them there's demand, and then we can get this ball rolling.
Yeah, definitely.
I think if you want to maybe get that going, have you tried maybe Yacht Games? Because they released the Shovel Knight amiibo, which is pretty damn cool, I think.
It's really cool. Yeah, we should probably have a chat with them and sort of see how they went and how they did it.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
From what I can remember, I don't know if I'm 100% correct in this. They contacted Nintendo, but then they would have to, Yacht Games would have to contact some sort of publisher, to make these figures.
Yeah.
Like a company, and then put the figure on the NFC chip, But it'd be cool, I think, because like I think what you have is something special there. You have something colourful. Something that the eyes can just catch on to straight away. Like it's like it's eye catching, I think, anyway. But even something like that would be pretty cool. Even like as like special DLC or something, or like a special power up in the game. Like a random power up or whatever.
Oh, we would love to do that so much. Yeah. Who knows what the future holds? We definitely would love that.
Yeah. We can try and make it happen.
I bought my first amiibo the other day. I bought a Splatoon one, and they're amazing.
One? I'm guessing the girl, yeah?
Yeah, the girl. Yeah. It's like, it's really amazing. Like, it's so well made, and it's got so much detail on it, and it's all like made of different materials and stuff. I was kind of blown away by it.
Yeah, they are pretty mind-blowing for the price, and different textures of like the materials and stuff. It's like, wow, this
really
is
cool.
This is really good.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's our amiibo collection. Will probably rapidly expand.
Well, one day, hope we'll include a Chibo.
Yeah.
You should see mine. It's just ridiculous, my amiibo collection.
How many have you got?
I have too fucking many.
See, I've been terrified to start because I know that will happen, but that's it now.
This is what our worry was. We were like,
the thing is, I think anyway, the amiibo thing is great, but they don't do much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they're just, they're like, I have them in my press, place, like by number, if you get me, like Mario's number 1, Peach number 2, etc., Yoshi, etc., etc. Like, I have them up there in the press, and like, they're just collectible figures, that are just accessible with games.
Yeah.
But like, I have the entire Disney Infinity collection of Star Wars figures, because I love Star Wars. Yeah, and they announced the Kylo Ren light effects figure, which is out next week.
Yeah.
Because there was sort of like a clue in the game. I have the game Disney Infinity 3.0. Like, the reason why I got it was because to play the Star Wars, characters. Because I just love Star Wars so much. I love the new film. Just thought it was amazing. And they had like on the statue in the game, there was like a little area for where the light up character would light up if there was like if you could place it on the platform, the base,
Yeah.
Because like Obi-Wan Kenobi has one, Darth Vader has one, Luke Skywalker has it, like a lightsaber, and Kylo Ren will be getting one next week, which I can't wait to just get it and unbox it for you all. And I don't know, it's just like, I think overall the Disney Infinity product is better.
Yeah.
But like Amiibo does a bit more. I don't know, a bit more. I think it's more accessible, more games, which is pretty good. But like it's so much money. Everything is just money.
I know,
it is so much money.
That's why we we were trying not to get
That's why
addicted.
we'd avoided it. But
yeah.
like, I think the floodgates
I
are
really
open
have
now.
you seen the was the Yoshi game where it's like you can get a crocheted Yoshi.
Oh, his Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah, you can get like a little crochet Yoshi amiibo, which I just thought was so clever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean something that's,
I would totally have that.
it's
like,
not just plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really do. Like it's kind of delightful. That's the thing I love about it. It's like not just a cool thing. It's like it just kind of makes you happy to look at.
It just puts a smile on your face.
Yeah, it does.
You just look at it and go, oh, that is
That's
just
the good
lovely.
thing about
that
Nintendo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Put a smile on your face.
Yeah, for a few minutes at a good price.
Yeah, and then you go, oh, how much?
Never ever add up how much you've spent in total. Never.
Oh, don't! I'm not even going to say on the podcast. I've just spent too much money. It's ridiculous. Like I even have the gold and silver Mario amiibo.
Oh, you do?
They're exclusives, yeah. But I didn't even buy them. Thankfully, I got them some other way. But no, but like there's just so many. Like I'm not actually into all the Nintendo characters. You know, I like Mario. I like Splatoon. I have all three of them. And I have a feeling that they're going to release two more of, you know, let's say Agent A and B. That makes any sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm guessing we'll maybe see at E3 this year. What's the story with Amiibo? Yeah, but it's money. It's just money.
Well, you know, that is one thing Nintendo are good at, is getting your money.
It is. That is true. And they're very good at it. You know,
It is very good. I mean, it's one of those things
as
well where I think, you know, maybe the fact that they have had a little bit of a harder time with the Wii U and they've still managed to find a way to stay really good with the money. They're just very clever. They're very good at business. It's amazing.
That is how they have survived the Wii U generation, I think, with Amiibo. That has helped them big time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that it's they're one of the few companies that they're very able to weather a storm in the games business, and there has. I think we're sort of over it now, but you know there was that sort of talk for a while. Are they going to go the way of Sega? And of course not. I mean, they know how to handle a console that doesn't do as well as they were expecting, and just move on to the next thing when the time is right. I think that they're just, you know. You've got to give all credit to them. They are really probably the best gaming company out there.
It's weird because the Wii U is probably my favourite game system of all time so far.
Same here. Yeah, it is absolutely mind-blowing. I think at the time as well, I loved the GameCube, which, you know, was the last console they made, which was, you know, not as successful as they wanted. But the games on that are utterly astounding. And going back to GameCube games, I think, you know, they're the best of that generation. And for this, I think it's a real shame that not quite enough people will have experienced the catalogue of the Wii U library.
We still play our GameCube, and we still want to play the GameCube games that were on it, now. But we don't do that with, so much with kind of PS2 and the other game consoles that were out at the time. Xbox, original.
Yeah,
Xbox.
I mean, I remember them fondly, but I don't have quite the urge to go back and play through the games again. I don't know why that is. It might just be we're total Nintendo fanboys, but I don't know. Maybe.
It's weird because I had the N64, and then I skipped the GameCube because I don't know, just we got the PS2 at the time, and I love the PS2. I just thought it was a great system. And then I went on to the Wii, and then like we had the Xbox, the original Xbox One as well, but that was just crap overall, I think.
Yeah. Well, we had them all, but we only ever really played the GameCube, didn't we? And we actually went out in the middle of the night to get it on launch day, and I think we're the only people in the shop.
That's good though, because at least you can get it straight away and just go home with
it.
We
just went home, played with it until the morning,
and then went out. I think 9 a.m. and bought another game.
Yeah, because we were like, we don't have enough games, we need more games.
Yeah, and we've also just spent all night playing the game that we had.
Yeah, I think it was just Monkey Ball. We just played Monkey Ball all night long.
Yeah. Oh, the memories.
Okay, this question is for each of you now.
Yeah.
What do you call the greatest game of all time and why? Apart from your own game.
I wouldn't pick our own game. Oh, that is a big question to ask. Now I'm going to have to ponder that just for a second or two.
Do you want to pass that question over to your next opponent?
Have you got one, Sarah, that you're happy with right now?
So this will change for me on a weekly basis, probably.
Please don't say Candy Crush, I swear.
No. But probably in terms of like every aspect of it is it would either be Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask for me. Probably Majora's Mask might tip it a little bit because it kind of tried to do quite innovative stuff that I think was quite ahead of its time, really, with like kind of time travel and living a living town which you could walk around and be in, and you could kind of walk around at certain times of day and you knew who was going to be where and stuff like that. And the plot for it was quite deep, really. It was kind of wonderful. So yeah, maybe Majora's Mask for me this week. Next week it will be Ocarina of Time, and the week after that it will be like Jet Set Radio or something. So
okay, so that was one of the ones that I might have picked, but obviously I'm not going to double up on that now. So that leaves me. Okay, I'm going to go with a game I've probably spent so many hours playing, and say Sensible World of Soccer by Sensible Software, because even if you don't like football or play football or care about it at all, it's just such an astounding.
Which you don't.
Yeah, but it's such a good. I mean, the control method with it, where it uses one button, you get so much finesse and control through just a joystick and one button, through like different levels of passing, after touch, big lob kicks. It's just an absolute beauty of game design that I just sort of look at and basically think of that's pretty much perfection when you're talking about one button and movement. You just can't design better. And the thing is that like it evolved over time from like the first Sensible Soccer, but like by the time it got to its last iteration, it was absolutely. There's nothing else quite like it. And I've probably played that. I play it every year at least, and it's God knows how many years
more
old now.
often than that. But yeah. What about you? What's your favourite game of all time?
Well, like the guys you know, but I have three that come to mind anyway, like as my top number one and number two. Okay, the first one I'm going to cheat now because it's two games, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Fantastic. Oh, yeah. It's like that game just, like for platforming everywhere, you know, it's just the greatest of all time, I think.
The level design in that is mind-blowing.
Fully agree with. In fact, just the other day I was thinking, actually, that's probably it's up there.
It's up there, isn't it?
It's definitely on a different day that could have been what I said. But yeah, that is absolutely genius game design all through that, and it does have to be played through to the end as well, because like some of the later levels are really. It just brings so much new ideas to it. I think a lot of people don't play it quite the way through, and they sort of wonder like how different can it be? And the answer is very, very different. Like they really they pick up tropes that they kind of set earlier on in the game and then flip them back upside down on their head. It's just stunning.
What's the other one?
Yeah, the other one would be The Last of Us Remastered.
Because we haven't played The Last of Us yet.
No.
It's easily the greatest story, hands down, for me. It's just it's powerful stuff, that game. Honestly, you'll be hooked playing it.
We've been holding off on it as one of the games that we were going to play when we finally launched the game. Yeah. Wasn't it?
But it does require getting a PS4 for the remastered version.
For the remastered version it does, but we don't have...
Okay, well, everybody buy Chompy Chomp Chomp Party, and then I might be able to get a PS4.
Support the family here. Actually, my picture on Skype now, it's actually me cosplaying as Joel from The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Because I started doing music covers on the channel, and I just started kind of doing this like promotional kind of stuff, you know, for the video. Like me dressed up as Joel, and I played the theme song on the piano accordion, so I was playing it as Joel, so in the video, or as I would call it, Brown Joel, but whatever you want to call it.
Very good.
It looks cool.
I'm gonna look. So you play the piano accordion?
Yeah, I used to play years ago. Like, no, like I'm playing the song with one hand on my right hand, But I used to play like years ago when I was younger with two hands, Like I can still play a tiny bit, but it depends what kind of song, if you get me.
Yeah.
Just timing and stuff, Like I play drums now, and like I sing on stage, I perform on stage as well. So I love music, Music will be my. See, it's tough because music and gaming are my top loves, I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
That's probably the same for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I love music quite a lot. I mean, I like to try and play a lot of instruments. I should probably focus on fewer, and I'd probably be better at those fewer ones. But I kind of anything that makes a noise, I like to just kind of try and make a noise. But
he's one of those annoying people that can just pick up any instrument and get a tune out of it. I can't do that. I'm awful.
Well, what does it play?
I play like guitar, a little bit of drums, guitar, anything with sort of strings, so like ukulele, bass, or anything that I can pluck, I can sort of play.
But he'll still sit and figure out how to play something on the piano occasionally, won't he?
Yeah, I don't really play, but we have one in the house that I just kind of tinker on, but I've never really properly learned. But mostly I try and just work out tunes from Zelda and learn how to play them.
And the Mario stuff.
Yeah, that makes me happy.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Like playing video game music, I think.
And sometimes he'll play some sort of weird, doomy horror music and I have to shout down the stairs and say, I'm not coming down until you stop playing the horror music. You're basically setting the scene wrong for me to come down the stairs.
Yeah, I like to improvise, and it all comes out quite doomy and sinister.
Yeah.
And then I turn the lights off and just wait.
Wait for me to scream at him. Stop being horror movie.
Speaking of music, where did the whole music come from? For the game anyway.
Oh yeah, so
it's absolutely. It's like there, like in my video. It's a fucking rave party in my house.
Yeah, it's great. We had the original game Woody made the music for, and obviously did it in quite a short time frame, and had to do all the rest of the game as well. So
I mean, I was kind of happy with how it came out, but I never had the time on the original game to like really develop each track into like a proper track. So it was just quite short looping things, and I didn't want that to be the same with this game.
And one of our friends, one of our friends offered. He's from a duo called Team Doyobi.
Yeah, they sort of do sort of IDM and digital sort of electronic stuff.
And they're really, really good. They've been around for a long time. They do lots of gigs in London and stuff. And they basically offered to do the soundtrack for Chompy Chomp Party.
Yeah, which I was like, yes, definitely.
Please do that.
I mean, the other thing is, I think if it was anybody else but them, I probably wouldn't. I would have probably still tried to do it myself. But we
love their stuff.
Their style is just so amazing. I would love to hear what you could do with
what
how
they
Chompy
did.
sounds.
Yeah, so they took some of the original Chompy soundtrack and just Team Doyobi'd it and just made it amazing.
And each level has its own kind of so each theme has its own styled and themed music attached to it as well.
And the main thing was that, like, the brief we gave them was give it a bit of a Chompy feel based on the original game, but just make it feel a lot more like a party. And they really did that. Like, that was like, we have sat here just dancing away to the music.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously developing the game, I've had to listen to this music a hell of a lot.
And
I have not got bored of it. I don't know if they're going to, I'm hoping they're going to release it as an album. I don't know if they will, but I mean, I really, really hope that they do.
Get me the music.
Yeah, they should release it because it is amazing, and they did a lot of work for us for that, and it's really great.
It's weird because I'm not into like dance club music or rave music, like techno, all that kind of stuff. But like there's songs, in Tekken that kind of have that kind of same feel, like very bassy, and like that kind of like weird kind of sound. But that is just brilliant, and like even Streets of Rage as well, great music in that as well.
Oh, the Streets of Rage soundtrack, that was
amazing.
That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
I used to I would used to plug my Mega Drive into some speakers when I was a teenager, and just on the sound test I would just sit and listen to the music as if it was an audio CD. I think I might have made myself sound really
geeky
here, but yeah, I used to do that. I'm proud of it.
Well, the thing with Team Dayobi is they've never really done a game soundtrack before, and I just think first of all, we're like massively happy that they decided to do it for us, but second of all, like, they just seem awesome at it. That it's just like the perfect kind of music for a game soundtrack, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think
like they should do more.
Yeah, they should.
No, because at work, because I'm a graphic designer in National Pen at the moment, and like at work, I would just kick off with Minecraft music. I'm not even messing.
Yeah.
The music in that game is just fantastic.
Well, like, we had for our wedding, actually, we had quite a lot of game soundtrack music, didn't we?
We did.
We were geeky. But probably my favourite game soundtrack of all time is the Jet Set Radio soundtrack. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah. It's great. It's kind of like hip-hoppy. Yeah, it's good.
No jazz, no?
Well, I don't know. It has all sorts of weird.
Well, it's sort of, it is kind of influenced a lot of it by jazz, but it is they've got a bit of hip hop from The Chosen. So I think they've got Jurassic 5 on maybe like the.
Oh, they have a song in Tony Hawk's, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
I'll look it up now.
Yeah.
But most of the soundtrack to Jet Set Radio, I think, was made by Hideki Naganuma, who also did a lot of the soundtrack to Sonic Rush, which has the same kind of cool, sort of like funky, dancey vibe to it. But it's a lot of guitar stuff as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the song from Jurassic 5 is A Day at the Races, if you know that one.
Yeah, I think I do. Do you know?
I'm not sure. I'd have to listen to it.
Yeah, I think
it's not the one I was thinking of.
But
yeah.
Yeah, it's in Tony Hawk's Underground, the first one, Underground game. But
oh yeah, I would. Well, I've definitely heard it because I played quite a bit of that.
Great game as well.
Yeah.
2 is great as well, and then I actually liked American Wasteland, but they kind of went downhill. No pun intended with the games, but they just got crap. Like even with the new Tony Hawk's game, they released whatever. Like the game was like outbroken. Like there was like a day one like 3 or 4 gigs or something update on it.
That's cool.
I don't know. That's really bad. Like,
I mean, as a developer, I can understand how things don't go to plan, but
yeah,
it's still not good when something like that happens.
Okay, so sorry if you don't mind. I know we've been talking for ages now. If that's okay.
Yeah, no, we have actually. No, that's cool.
No, I guess the final topic for today: virtual reality and the NX and E3. So, what's going to happen this year, you think?
Do you know what? I really don't know. It's so hard to predict, like, anything that Nintendo ever do. But I don't know. I haven't even begun to fathom what they might have up their sleeve, and I'm just quite excited to see how they're going to surprise me again.
I love how Nintendo like kind of announce stuff, and you're like, oh, that's never gonna work, and then it like works really.
Yeah, they do something a little twist on it that you hadn't considered.
Yeah,
and then it's like,
what is that? Why have they changed that? And actually, it's amazing. And
like things that we take for granted now. Oh, the DS, 2 screens. Yeah, who's gonna like what? I don't have 4 eyes. I'm not gonna look at 2 screens. And then like, okay, well,
yeah,
well
okay,
done.
it is amazing. That's my favourite thing about Nintendo. I'm sure they'll do that again this year. And it's kind of hard to see where they'll go next.
Personally, I don't think the NX is going to be a VR thing at all. I mean, I bet it is now. I bet it is, and I'm like, so I'm saying it on record. I don't think they will, because I think VR is amazing. It is absolutely amazing, but I don't think it's very social, and I don't think Nintendo will make something that relies. I mean, maybe they will have a VR aspect to it at some point, but I don't think they will make it the core of a system, because when you have a VR headset, you're isolated in that room from other people, and it's not an involved gaming experience. So I really don't think it's going to be VR, but I might be.
It might have an add-on.
I might be
or
eating. Yeah, it might have an add-on, but I don't think it's going to be core to the experience at all.
Good points made.
Mm.
Did you ever see the HoloLens from Microsoft at E3 last year?
I saw it.
With Minecraft.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Amazing. I mean, that was, yeah, that looked like the sort of next level of VR, really. That was something quite special. I'm quite excited to see how that develops. But I think the thing about VR at the moment is it's expensive. I mean, certainly PC-wise, you've got to have such a powerful PC to sort of make it worthwhile and play everything. I mean, you're kind of doing everything at 4 times the resolution, really, of like one screen. You know, you've got to do everything twice, and it needs to be high resolution so it looks good.
To be fair, it isn't that accessible either. Like, a lot of people really don't like it.
Yeah, I think VR is going to be popular, but a popular niche.
Yeah,
I'm not sure it's going to quite.
And also in terms of game development, you know, you're quite limited in the sense that when you're making a game for VR, you kind of have to have it first person, and you have to be kind of, I don't know, sort of static, like, because you can't have people like walking randomly around a room unless they're like on a treadmill or something.
Yeah.
So
it can feel a bit disorientating when you're playing, like, for example, a first-person shooter, and you're just kind of.
So some of the best VR stuff I've seen was at one of the expos that we went to. In the stall next to ours was a horse riding one, and they had like a horse seat thing that you could sit on and you could horse ride, and that's good because your movement kind of goes along with, and your whole kind of encompassing experience goes along with. So
you avoid any sort of motion sickness because you have the motion to go along with it, so your brain doesn't get that kind of strange confusion that you can sometimes get from VR.
You can't walk around in a virtual world whilst being sat on a sofa because it makes you feel like you want to throw up.
Certainly for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
Okay, so for people, what price is the game going to be now for tomorrow on release?
Game is euros, 10.99 euros.
10.99 euros, which works out to about £8.99 in England, and it'll be out in the US kind of later on in a month or two.
Yeah, hopefully just a month. But we'll see.
That's pretty cool. Anyway, I know it's great that we're getting, I guess, the first peak in Europe, you know, instead of America for once.
You're literally the first person who's played it, I think.
Yeah, like you've got a real first peak.
Yeah.
We only got the review code today, so you're the first person.
Nice one. No, because I did see someone contacting it, but I was like, oh, I better get in there quick as well, just get it out there. But like, I got it quick as possible out there. But
well, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for I guess giving me the code and the gameplay and just show people how crazy your game is and the music as well.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Go support this company. They need to buy a PS4 when it comes out later on, so go buy their game. They might buy a PS4 K or 4.5, whatever it's going to be called later on. I don't know if that's going to be real. Get it. Oh, and also tomorrow, a game called Freeze Me, absolutely fantastic. I said, James, I think you would love it because it's like Super Mario 64 and a bit like Galaxy as well. And there's a hint of Metal Gear Solid as well in there. It's,
cool.
It's on my channel, absolutely fantastic. The game is just so much fun. I'm absolutely hooked on it. It's actually from a Spanish company called Rainy Night Creations, and they've been so good to me. It's just great. So
that's the same day as us, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, launch buddies.
Yeah, launch buddies. Yeah, you should team up together. All right, guys, you can check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Vine, Twitch, and for more Nintendo and for more gaming podcasts, keep it right here. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay fresh.